Okay, so here we are with Peter's beautiful 1198S. And Pete, how would you go about setting up this bike?
Well, the first thing to do is to get a bike set up so that it fits the rider and it's comfortable for the rider. When a rider is comfortable, they start to build confidence, and what they're then able to do is actually ride freer and faster with less risk and more ease. So the first thing I do, I get the bars in the right place for me. The fixed position bars I get rid of, and I put in bars that give me the adjustment so that I can actually put the bars in the right position for me, right? So the right reach forward, the right angle, so that it fits me. Secondly, and probably the most important thing, is the footrests. Adjustable footrests that get the leg and the feet in the right position so that my body weight is in the correct position on the bike, and it enables me to have control, feedback and management. I ride on my toes. So what that means is that I steer a bike with pressure. Coming into a corner, pressure on the inside; going out of a corner, pressure on the outside. Straighten the bike up, pressure on the outside. Right? So the footrest for me are absolutely vitally important. Right? Once you've got that, the rest of things start coming into play. But for me, I would spend a whole day experimenting with different footrest positions at a track day. Go out, 2 laps, change. Go out, 2 laps, change, just to find the right one. And I'll go out in a session and think, oh, this is great, this is really, really good. And I come in and I make another change, and it's another level again. You start getting into a zone, and then you get to a point where it's absolutely brilliant. It's perfect for you, then you can start moving on to other things. The first thing I do is I make a note of what the standard settings are.
Right.
Then I make changes in small increments in one direction.
Right.
So let's say, suspension's the best one to, so let's say I've got a little bit of steering head shake. Well, that's a rebound issue. So 2 clicks on rebound. Is that better or worse? It's better, great. Let's do another 2 clicks. Is that better or worse? No, it's actually better. Another 2 clicks. Is that better or worse? Oh, hang on, it's worse. Okay, let's go back 1 click. Is it better or worse? Nah, it's still not as good, so go back that extra click. So you make small changes and small adjustments, but always you record what you've got.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know where you started,
Sure.
and you don't know where you've gone. You've got to do things very, very sensibly and sequentially.
Right. What would be the next?
Well, the next thing is the suspension.
Right.
But I think it's important to understand that once you get the rider body weight in a central position, into a stable position, there's no point in actually changing your suspension.
Right.
Once your body weight is in the right position for you as a rider on that bike, then you can change the suspension, because then it's going to have real value.
Yeah.
I use the grippy seats. When you whack the throttle open on this thing, the 1198S, it goes.
Yeah.
Right? And if you haven't got a grippy seat, you start sliding back. So that's an aspect that
Sure.
keeps my body weight in the position I want it to be in. I've got a fallback stop there, so that I can't go back to a certain point. I can maintain control to pull myself forward. Okay? But suspension, it's absolutely vital to have really, really good suspension people. All right, I'm going to get a plug here, but I've used shock treatment out at Wallachia for all of my racing.
Yeah.
And Terry and Grant Hay know what I like,
Yeah.
and they set a bike up beautifully.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm really fussy. My motocross background has me have harder suspension than most people, right? But it's suspension that works for me, and it's suspension I can ride a bike with. Every second of lap time you go faster is almost a completely different suspension range. You've got to have the numbers. You've got to have it logged.
Yeah.
So that when you make a change, you know where you've gone, you know where you've been. Brakes are an important aspect. Now, I'm a front braking rider. I very rarely, if anything, use the rear brake. You use the rear brake in the wet to stop wheel spin, and in the pits, and if you run off. Other than that, what's the point?
Yeah.
You've got these huge discs up the front. Learn how to use them really effectively. So, for me, one of the first things I do is I put a lever and braking system on that gives me a progressive feel. I don't like a feel where you've got a very short throw on a brake lever, because you cannot moderate the level of braking. If you're coming into a corner, if you're coming into a fast corner, you need to feel your way in. At the faster speeds, right, you've actually got less grip than at the slower speed. So at the faster speeds, you have to feel it your way into the brakes a little bit. As you get into the corner, you can actually brake harder because you've got more grip, you've got more contact patch.
Right.
Telemetry. We've got a little system here that wirelessly links to a laptop. It gives me all the information I need, really. It gives me lap times, it gives me temperatures, it gives me RPM, it gives me the control from the point of view of shift lights. As much as I want to change according to a light. And it means that at the end of the day, or even halfway through a day, I can download it onto a computer and lay one lap on top of the other, work out, okay, I was quicker there, and I was quicker there, but I was slower there, and actually put together a quick lap
Right.
on a computer screen, so that mentally I can go, okay, now can I replicate that on the track?
Yeah, okay. Right. Okay, I notice here you've got some words on your clamp here, which we'll get a shot of. What's the philosophy behind that?
Well, look further ahead. The thing is with racing, when you get to a certain speed, if you look close to you, first of all, it's really scary because it's fast, and you don't want to have that apprehension. So what I've learned to do is I've looked to look outside of my area of my present area, and I've worked out, and I think they call it like two vision, whereby you can actually focus on what's between you and where you're going, and looking for the vanishing point on the track. So the point of where the track is just disappearing, you're always looking at that. You're looking through the corner. You're actually looking to that point, because that pulls your mind out of where you are and the speed of where you are to where you're going. The second aspect of that is it actually gets you to be a lot smoother. Right? You know, once you go smooth, you can go fast. So the secret always is to get smooth, to go fast. Right? The other part, feel is fast and smooth. You know, I look at that when I'm in the pits. I look at that on the start line, but I can't read that small print when I'm racing.
Yeah,
you know, there's just too much going on.
Yeah.
But it reminds me to not be concerned about where I am and what's going on, you know, in the present, to kind of like just come in and smooth, fast, carry that speed.
It's been great talking to you. Thanks
It's been
again.
great. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.